I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the 10-house gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die.
Hi everybody, my name's Joel Blacker, and this is Joel Blacker's Astrology on Darkcity Radio. Hello all you lovely people out there in cyberspace. I've got a lot of facts for you tonight, and hopefully at the end of the programme you're all really fact up. I wouldn't mind telling you about myself, because I haven't done that yet. I was born on the 2nd of April 1988 at 7:38 p.m. I was born and bred in Maidenhead. I've lived here all my life. It's a town in Berkshire on the Thames. And there's local celebrities such as Rolf Harris and Michael Parkinson. Doesn't get more exciting than that. Funny enough, Rolf Harris uses the dry cleaners. Next door to the dry cleaners is KFC. Sometimes I see him like around there, or in Waitrose. But yes, I always mostly see him outside KFC, and that's when it dawned on me that Rolf Harris looks exactly like the KFC Colonel Man. It's once you see it, you can never unsee it. Maidenhead's a lovely place. I like it. A lot of my friends fucked off pretty young because they hated it, but I love Maidenhead. Got 3 siblings. An older sister, a younger brother. My younger brother, he's 6'7", and he takes steroids. He looks like Conan. He's massive. And my sister's like 5'4", and quite. So I've got the classic middle child syndrome. I'm from a broken home as well, which kind of explains a lot of things, if you like psychology and all that kind of stuff. My mother left the house when I was 10 and took my 2 siblings. I lived with my father and helped him heal a broken heart, and he soon turned into a real heavy alcoholic. I didn't have much contact with my mum. I never really wanted to. But bizarrely, I found myself in the position of coaching both my parents, trying to heal their pain. And, my mother, she was a spiritualist at a young age. She introduced me into astrology at a young age. In all honesty, I started picking up astrology at 19, but she was always very open about alternative lifestyles and alternative sciences, and she always reminded me of spiritual law. My father, on the other hand, is an extreme skeptic. When you're dead, you're dead. You're worm food. This is, as he put it. My mother's a drama queen. She's a real Leo. My father's a Pisces, a real diehard Pisces. His wisdom is the purest I've ever come across, but no one would ever expect it. But he is my greatest teacher. He just says, get on with it, you know. And if you're stressed out and stuff, you just talk a load of crap, and you still have to get on with it. That's his approach in life. And, my mother, being a drama queen, she couldn't really swallow it, so she left. But in essence, it really is just if you're you're feeling shit, you know, you could crap on for a couple of hours about it, but you still get on with it. Yeah, I went to an all-boys school. Played a ridiculous amount of rugby for school and club. My best friends at school were rugby players, and me being 6'7", I made a really good second row. I live in Berkshire, so playing other schools, a lot of them private and boarding schools, you know, Thames Valley being the Thames Valley. Never played Eton though, because I was from a comprehensive school. They didn't want to play us. But yeah, it gave me an insight to what private schools were like. And, you know, after the match, we'd have like a little meal in the grand hall, and it is just like Hogwarts. It's just what you'd expect. It's just real traditional old frickin' English private school, boarding school stuff. My rugby kit, it was hilarious. Like, most teams laughed at us because we had a great colour scheme. It was purple and yellow, and it was stripy, just stripy purple and yellow. I liked it because I thought we looked like wizards. But yeah, I really liked playing it because it was, you know, my best friends, and they were very talented rugby players, and it was just great fun. With my club team, the Drifters, they had like little funny things, like you have to drink with your left hand, and if you didn't, you'd have to stand on a chair and down a pint, and while they sing a silly song about a jockey or whatever. They're really funny little traditions or whatever. Once we won the Bucks Cup twice, but once we won it and in the clubhouse, the barman filled the trophy up with loads of different like liqueur, and then he put a chocolate flake in it, and we all drank out of it. But by accident, I drank it with my right hand, and then I had to do a forfeit. But I was so drunk, I was doing the forfeit, and I was going to do the forfeit with my right hand, and everyone's like, "Oh," I just kind of gave up. But, yeah, I had to stop rugby because I didn't take my coach's advice. He said, "Stop going in with your head so hard. Don't go in head first all the time." But I, in the end, I got concussion too many times and just couldn't play it. The more concussion you get, the more frequent it gets. But it was fun at the time. Like, it's if anyone's ever been concussed, it's like class A drugs. Everything gets really sparkly and spangly, but your vision, it's almost like your car screen window has been smashed, but it's like a mirror, and it's like your glass is smashed and the mirror has slanted, and you see some guy's head in the top left corner, and then the rest of his body in the bottom right corner. It's a real world. I ended up with school I excelled in art, and went to Henley College to do art foundation. Whilst having the most ridiculous relationships with the most like psycho bitch girls you could imagine. It was after Henley College, like right at the end show, that's when I started getting into Zachariah Sitchin. So right at the moment of the ending of my state education, the authoritative education, I start the alternative, but right from scratch, like learning about the pre-Diluvian flood history and ancient astronauts, and going right into the deep end of alternative history. I loved it. It was really exciting. It was my mother who brought it up. Me and her were driving to Windsor because I needed to get a tent to go to Glastonbury Festival that year. And we're driving to Windsor. She said, "Oh, my friend at work, she says, oh, you'd like David Icke. Have you heard of him?" I was like, "No." My mum said, "Oh, he says that the Queen's a lizard." It's like, ha ha ha, that's hilarious. And we were looking at Windsor Castle in the background. It was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Throughout my life, I always was questioning the way things were, politics, and just I was questioning the world a lot at a young age, and I just clicked on to, aristocrats, class system, and I just thought, well, looking at the nature of us Earthlings, whatever, we're really nice little creatures, but it just looks like some people have nothing and some people have it all, and I just thought, well, the Queen isn't human. You know, the people that have created society, you know, at a young age, I really thought that society was not natural. It was not going along with the natural flow of nature, and this is what made Nietzsche, the philosopher, go nuts, because he really thought civilization wasn't natural, and he yeah. He, so yeah, when I was drawn to Ike just through that. Just I've got to say, it doesn't matter if the Queen's a lizard or not; they're still doing what they're doing. But I was drawn to Ike, and I just fell head over heels in love with the whole thing, and I just got really involved with you know, YouTube, you know, learning all the Jordan Maxwell, Michael Sarian, Rick Clay, like Freeman perspective, Project Camelot, and whilst this time I was discovering all the esoteric schools that I could find, like the Theosophy Society and White Eagle. I used to go to spiritual churches a lot, just to work out what they meant by the healing process, energy healing and stuff. I met quite a lot of friends through it, and I still have them as friends. And yeah, learning lots of astrology, learning, reading a lot of self-help books. I was quite late into reading. I started reading at 17, and yeah, I never liked reading before that, but I ended up reading the most wackiest stuff I could find. You know, my library is full of books about holy men and magic men, or just anyone that says that they can do magic. You know, I'm fascinated with alchemy and you know, a lot of theology books, like a real love for culture. Yeah, believe it or not, most of them are astrology books. But I did hit the self-help stuff quite heavily because I was in need of it. I never saw myself as a confident person, and I more I read about these self-help books, the more that I was just reassuring stuff that I already knew. Like, oh, they're saying the same thing. Oh, okay. Like, all right. Well, I should have just trusted myself in the first place. Which I think most people find themselves in. Like, they're looking for someone else's point of view when, you know, they don't see how valid theirs are, or sometimes the shadow of doubt can be quite heavy and pull you down, and it's hard to see reason in this darkening chaos. But to find reason, Ray's son is to literally be the hero. Like the Ray's son, to get out the chaos, you've got to totally retune your vibration into a hero. You know, you've got villain, victim, hero syndromes. Like they're like classic in any situation. You're either a villain, a victim, or a hero. But yeah, if you attune, I think Bashar said it the best. He said, if doubt is just a belief system that you trust, but you don't want to trust it, you're putting trust in a belief system that you don't prefer. But there's this mythology of the light and the dark, the good and the evil, hero and villain. And astrology, as astrology explains the cycles of day and night, and the whole cycles of nature and the world at large, it also is the cycles of your inner world, of your personal inner world, and all the thoughts and your dreams and your waking day consciousness. But these two things are one and the same. You know, the sun rises in the morning, and that's time of day is Aries. The sun has risen again, and it's dispelled the cloak of black ignorance, of darkness and nighttime. We can see again. We have clarity. We can see reason from the chaotic darkness. Hello, Sparky. Did you just jump in?
I did. How are you, Joel?
I'm alright.
I just turned my radio down. Right?
How the bloody hell are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been away for a while. I've trying to get my all my systems working on Ubuntu software. So I've been away learning some new programs for a while. So I'm back now.
Excellente. Yeah, did you want to ask a question?
I might do shortly. I'm just going to let you ramble for a bit first. You carry on, mate. I'll jump in.
I was talking about chaos. Sugar. Yeah, if this like inner world reflects the outer world, then what can we see in the outer world? Because we can only see our own personal inner worlds, and we can only vouch for our own. But we're living in a secular reality where we all experience, and this secular reality that we can all kind of make agreement on facts. There's a very small percentage of the population that control the rest. This very small percentage of people, they're called aristocrats. Bankers, politicians, military generals, yeah, lawyers, judges.
But if you say that we are living in somewhat of a fractal world, then they must be part of us.
If the Queen is in her castle with red soldiers wearing giant black hats, and tourists come and take photos of them, people are completely they're enchanted by it. So they're fueling the royals, because the royals are putting on a show.
Yeah, like a
putting on a show. They're so cocky. Like, they are a military frickin' firm. But they're so cocky that a lot of people are like, wow, I'll take a photo of that. So many people go to take photos of Buckingham Palace.
It's a spectacular, isn't it?
It's the ego, isn't it? And I
believe that if they'd never had an audience, they wouldn't have carried it on. It would have died.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have a special day around it. So, what do you make of that? There's no audience.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially, money is energy. If money is being put into the ego, you're encouraging it. But what is the royals doing with all this tourist money? They're just putting it into, bombing foreigners in other countries. But in Afghanistan, what America and Britain have been doing in Afghanistan is taking the world supply of opium. They're taking the opium fields. So they're fighting for the numbing agent.
They need it for their people, to keep them quiet, keep them busy.
To numb the pain.
Yeah. That they're creating through the war is protecting the opium.
They're fighting for the thing that wouldn't make them fight. Or they're fighting for the healing.
Like a vicious circle they've created. We need the opium, so they go to war. We need the oil as well. And it just so happens that place in the world has both. And we need the opium to get over the fact there is a war, for what it does to our society.
There is a lot of illusion. I really refer it to Wizard of Oz. Like, most people out there, they are munchkins. They are really lovely, sweet people. Like, oh, we just want to get along, you know, la la la.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about this.
There is a lot of illusion and a lot to get distracted with, like big time. I mean, my brother, he doesn't talk to me about what I talk about on the radio because he's just come back from Ibiza. He's having a phone party and like woo. He don't want to know what I'm talking about because he's like on holiday, like he's living the Earth experience, like getting in with the Babylon, you know.
Feeding the system.
Yeah. In all honesty, people got to start boycotting Babylon. Just really make.
No, you've got to boycott it as much. There's still got to be some kind of pleasure. And
it's true.
Now and again, you get your hand in your pocket. It's inevitable at the moment.
It's true. It's surreal how we're all born into this world from a bit of a dark history with a lot of karma to deal with, family and socially. And we're born with a heavy weight on our shoulders, given to us by our forefathers. And if we're gonna deal with it, like, as the inner and outer world is like a reflection, like, you can, I mean, to have this heavy weight on our shoulders, if society or civilization as we know it, like, in my opinion, has been created by magic men with frickin' bowler hats, like the Masons. They're all like wearing little bow ties and little white gloves, and they're really Hebrew mysticism.
It seems they're the in crowd, the ultimate in crowd. And you have that. I mean, you see chimpanzees in the wild. They have an in crowd. They have a gang, and you can expel members from the gang. You've got to earn your way into the gang. I think it's another fractal.
Yeah. But once we become conscious of a habit, like, the fractal will be more clear. And we can make more of a conscious decision in what way the fractal will be spinning. You know what I mean?
Well, we're definitely, if we are, well, we definitely are living in a fractal world. There are examples I can give, but the only way we can change the world, there is only one way: to change yourself.
Yeah.
Change the small parts, and the whole picture changes.
But I think it's a game we're playing, but it's an interactive game.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to take part in order to make real progress. But it's all playing the game together, like, yeah.
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
Can be like Monopoly.
Can be.
In the financial world, if you're working.
Well, it's like Kaplunk. Have you ever played that?
Yeah. Well, if it's Kaplunk, are we playing the straws or are we playing the marbles? Which piece are we? Do we fall when others pull the mat out, or are we pulling the mat out?
You are the Kaplunk.
Oh, the whole game itself.
The whole game.
Right. Kaplunk Sparky, is that my new name?
Yeah.
Cool.
officially. Then again, maybe I haven't.
And you can call none of my business.
Maybe, yeah. You are the cook drunk.
Might be Jenga.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting game what the Daily Star's been playing recently. Because, you know, ever since the Bilderberg, you know, you've had The Guardian come out with information about undercover cops at protests and activists groups. And then they're bringing out a book about it too, talking about the last 10 years of undercover cops. And then they had this dispatches program about it. So it's all like they're pushing it into the mainstream. But bizarrely, like the Daily Star, for weeks now, coming out with the headlines, and they all revolve around Big Brother, the show, the TV show. But there's characters in the house, like there's Dan, who's a detective working on the Jimmy Savile case.
Oh.
And this guy, he's already caught out a housemaid for being an actor. He said, like, some person got kicked out of the house because they were saying that they weren't I don't know, they didn't go through an audition or whatever. It just sounds so silly, as in this is just psychobabble, but
so this is a smokescreen for whistleblowing. So he's whistleblowing on them. It's to take whistleblowing into the news.
It's all scripted, and it must have been scripted in advance, or I'm not sure how they work Big Brother on Channel 5 these days, or how they ever did. But
do you know what the headline was?
One of them was Big Bro Savile Cop in Terror Alert. There was one point where some mental case broke into the house and started harassing him, and they had to kick the guy out. And but I'm talking about Big Brother with the, you know, utmost seriousness here. Because I honestly believe it's created by Rosicrucians. It's created by mystics. You know.
Have you been watching Big Brother?
No, just looking out for
the odd headlines.
Headlines.
Yeah.
It's
so hard to pick up on the evidence and stay away from it at the same time.
Within that little cosm of Big Brother, they are literally taking the piss out of everyone. If you're paying attention to modern trends of what's going on, then yeah. But for anyone else, they're just like, oh, the frickin', they have no clue. It's all just subliminal, or, you know, it's an interesting
talk as well. I mean, everyone gets to see a multitude of people all talking at once from different areas of the country, talking different kinds of slang, and it just spreads instantly. They hear it on Big Brother and they want to copy it. And for one, the language that people are using is copying Big Brother. You hear it out in the street.
Innit? What's their motto? We're watching them, watching you, or something like that. We're watching them, watching you. Well, that's what Davina McCaw used to say. I always thought, frickin' hell, Davina McCaw, that's like modern day Tyburn. You know, if it was a couple of 100 years ago, Davina McCaw would be hanging them. And it's the same sort of frickin' light that what we're doing to these evicted housemates in modern day, like boo, boo, and just. One year, it was a celebrity Big Brother, and the house decor, the design inside, was of circus, but it was satanic circus. It had like satanic clowns, and within Big Brother, like even the ideology or like the concept of Big Brother, even calling it Big Brother, having a big eye for a logo, it's all making us comfortable with the idea. If we're talking psychology here.
Yeah, it's comfortable with the idea that if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to hide.
Just making it okay that, well, there's no escaping it. There's no escaping like Big Brother.
The prying eyes.
I think it's very much akin to nanny state. Weirdly, they're like mollycoddling you to death.
Yeah, I mean, if you want something, you go and ask the council for it. Go and ask Big Brother for it.
Yeah.
I know people that if they want something, they'll go and ask the council for it. Every time. And it's like the inmates in the Big Brother house going and asking Big Brother for something. It is exactly a microcosm.
Everyone complains about it. I think it's really wasteful. It's a throwaway society we live in, isn't it? There's a lot of things that bum people out. Have you seen like the adverts on TV for what they called? It's charities. Yeah, they got like, oh, look at this elephant, it's fucked. What will save this elephant?
You've got a bit of violin in the background there.
Right, look at this snow leopard. Oh, it's fucked.
You could eat the guilt for just $9.99 a month.
Yeah, exactly. But that these charities, they're literally basically banks. The Masons always say about them doing like charity fundraising and stuff. But that, like, even the money from Live Aid and stuff, it just, and Bill Gates, it's a joke, isn't it? Like how Africa's being treated, and we literally laugh over it and call it comic relief. But there's, the reflections of the inner and outer world. If we're saying that there's a corrupt power at play in the outer world, and a lot of people are going along with like the whore of Babylon, and they don't want to question certain things because they've been entertained so much. I can't talk to anyone about David Icke. It scares the shit out of my mates. But
you know what the answer is every time, isn't it? Yeah, I get it until he starts talking about the lizard, and I get it. I hear it from everyone, and I'm kind of soaking that up now. I'm kind of going right, and you got a point. Whereas a year ago, I was like dead certain it could be a possibility. Can you see any fractals? Quite obvious fractals within the political system of this country.
Yeah.
I can see a real obvious one.
Tell me.
Government and your local council.
Right.
Local government.
Yeah.
The fractal, it works exactly the same. If you've ever sat in any of their chambers, any of their meetings, it's exactly the same as the layout as what you're watching on television. So there's a fractal in politics. That's one fractal in politics. We got our minds as well, the politics that are going on in our minds every day.
Sometimes I have corrupt characters in my mind, if I'm honest. It's how dealing with these like tyrannical forces, and you know, our government is tyrannical, and they're using a bunny boiling psycho bitch frickin' politics to, you know, put us down and make us feel like shit so that they can.
But they're doing it in the process of they're trying to please other people, their main voters. We're not their main voters. They're trying to please the people that support them.
Now, how I deal with like this unwanted company that I have in my inner space. Just like, how do you deal with the tyrannical government, or your next door neighbour might even be a tyrant?
You're going to go down to the fractal of your own mind.
Your mum might even be a tyrant, you know, like, be born to one. How to deal with it. Bringing things to reason.
So this, Joel,
Mm-hmm.
this is meant to be the astrology show, isn't it?
Down the black hole with Joel Blacker.
I wanted to ask Joel about the recent planetary alignment of the weekend and its effects.
The full moon.
No, we had a planetary alignment. It was all over the astrology sites on Thursday and Friday.
What was the alignment? Something with Pluto, or?
I can't remember. I can't recall. But we certainly experienced a lot here in my hometown.
What happened?
We had a mass load of holidaymakers here. We had trouble galore. There's an awful lot of synchronicities went on in my day, actually. A friend of mine had a bad accident and he was in hospital. And it seems like everyone I've bumped into after the weekend, they've all had a big story happen to them over the weekend, a big event. A memorable event. So I wondered what your opinion was on how a planetary alignment would affect us in a fractal kind of way.
I really felt it Monday morning when there was a new moon in Cancer, and things got really trippy for me Monday morning. I thought recently, because the sun it opposed Pluto very recently, that's just going to bring up, well, yeah, a lot of like soul. It's Pluto is about death and rebirth, and the sun is your ego. So your ego has, in your own personal way, you know, frickin' everyone would have experienced it differently, but there would have been a giant death rebirth with ego. And that...
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good energies at the moment. There's a lot of really beautiful, hearty energies in Cancer. But on the other hand,
It was called the Star of David Planetary Alignment.
I thought that was that's like 29th of July. That, or maybe if there was two, I didn't know about the first one.
Excuse me, I got the wrong day. Excuse me, my fuck up.
That one's really special. 29th of July. That's really special. That one.
Yeah,
That's,
made about on. Hang on, I'm gonna get back to the page now.
I can't wait. I think there's going to be a lot of political, like, happenings this summer, and you know, weirdly, I think it comes in the form of Russell Brand. Weirdly, you know, him doing his world tour, the Messiah Complex, where he's going around promoting his heroes, like, but I know that Russell Brand's been pushing, like, David Icke for years. Like, David Icke was on his, like, BBC radio show years ago, and recently Russell Brand on his radio show in America called X Brand, he's been talking to Icke and Graham Hancock and other people from, like, you know, truth movements. And Russell Brand is talking like David Wilcock. He's coming out with all this, like, blah 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 blah, blah, you know, just he's passing the Icke doctrine, and everybody loves Russell Brand. All the girls love him because he's got his legs wide apart and he's just got loads of sex appeal. But knowing Russell Brand, he's not this wise frickin' new age guru. He's just been told I've got 30 seconds left.
Well, thanks for letting me come on, Joe.
Pardon?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for thanking me.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Sparky. Yeah, and I'll see you all guys another time. Bye, everybody.
They said we could not do it. They said it wasn't possible. But we did it. We created a free radio station to bring the people together and spread an alternative message from the mainstream. They tried to silence us. They tried to hack us. But we carried on. You cannot silence the truth. You cannot enslave freedom. You cannot stop a good idea. You cannot stop Darkcity Radio. The crew is now bigger and stronger than ever before. We will not be kept off the airwaves. We will continue. This is not our radio. This is your radio. This is Darkcity Radio.
This is your Darkcity. This is your Darkcity.
This is your Darkcity.
This is your Darkcity. This is your Darkcity.
This is your Darkcity Radio.